choose our socks for success in all endeavors. Fortunes rises from the heel, and good luck for life.
Good morning. Today is Friday, November 8th, 2024. Today, in history, on this day 129 years ago, German physicist Wilhelm Conrad Roentgen discovered X-rays for the first time. This was the first time humans discovered penetrating rays, which can penetrate things that ordinary light cannot. Certain transparent materials are often used in the medical field, and William Conrad Roentgen won the first Nobel Prize in physics for this. Welcome to today's Qingchao Morning News. Let's start with political updates.
Moldova election, President Sandu secures re-election. According to AFP, on November 3, Moldova held a presidential election. Pro-Western President Sandu won 55% of the vote, defeating former Attorney General Stoyanoglu, supported by the pro-Russian Socialist Party, securing a second term. The election was intense. No candidate won a majority in the first round on October 20, so the top two candidates advanced to a runoff. The election is seen as a choice between Moldova's integration into Europe and closer ties with Russia. Since the Soviet Union's collapse in 1991, Moldova has alternated between pro-Western and pro-Russian leadership. Israel officially notifies UNRWA of termination of relations. According to Reuters, on November 4, Israel notified the United Nations that it had cancelled the 1967 agreement with the UN Relief and Works Agency for Palestine Refugees in the Near East, UNRWA, and severed relations. Israel's UN ambassador, Danon, stated that despite providing extensive evidence of Hamas infiltrating UNRWA, the UN took no action. Israel has long accused some UNRWA staff in Gaza of links to terrorist groups. In April, a UN panel reported that Israel had not provided evidence proving UNRWA staff were involved with terrorist organizations. UNRWA Commissioner General Lazzarini condemned the Israeli move, calling it a dangerous precedent that violated the UN Charter and international law. Ukraine launches first attack on Russian North Korean troops. According to Bloomberg News, on November 4, Kovalenko, head of Ukraine's Counter-Disinformation Center, stated on social media that the first batch of North Korean troops had been attacked in the Kursk region. This marks the first time Ukrainian forces have targeted North Korean troops since their deployment near the Russian border. Reports indicate that North Korea has sent about 10,000 soldiers to Russia, including elite special forces. NATO Secretary General Rutte previously called the move a major escalation of Russia's war in Ukraine. Russia has intensified its push into eastern Ukraine and is focused on dislodging Ukrainian forces from Kursk, part of which was captured by Ukrainian troops in an August offensive. "42 companies to list in Malaysia in 2024. Comprehensive news from Kuala Lumpur. Data recently showed that 42 companies had initial public offerings, IPOs, on Bursa Malaysia this year, surpassing the previous record of 40 companies in 2006. These companies raised a total of RM13 billion in IPOs, marking a new high since 2017. Analysts attribute the strong performance of the Malaysian stock market to domestic liquidity and investor confidence. Choi Boon Hock, Regional Director of Equity Capital Markets at Maybank Investment Bank Group, noted that the optimism in the stock market remains high, fueled by sufficient liquidity from both institutional and retail investors. Spanish king inspects disaster area, faces abuse and mud throwing from locals. Comprehensive news from Madrid. On November 3, Spanish King Felipe VI, Queen Letizia, and Prime Minister Sanchez visited Valencia, the worst-hit area of the recent floods, to inspect the disaster. During their visit, onlookers shouted "murderer," and angry victims threw mud, sticks, and other debris, prompting security personnel to shield the royal couple with umbrellas. Prime Minister Sanchez was escorted away by security, while King Felipe VI continued to walk and attempted to communicate with the victims. The floods, caused by heavy rainfall from extreme storms on October 29, have resulted in at least 217 deaths, with many people still missing. Over 70 people were killed in the town of Paporta in the Valencia region alone. Prime Minister Sanchez described the floods as the second deadliest in Europe this century. Disaster victims have accused the government of failing to issue large-scale emergency warnings prior to the floods and not carrying out timely rescue efforts afterward. Indian bus plunges into gorge near the Himalayas. According to AFP, on November 4, an Indian bus crashed into a deep ravine in the Markura region of Uttarakhand, a northern state in India, killing at least 36 passengers. The region is part of the Himalayan mountains. Local official Rawat confirmed the death toll of 36 and reported that 3 other passengers, seriously injured, were airlifted to the hospital. The cause of the accident is still under investigation. Malchula, a popular tourist destination in the mountainous Uttarakhand state, is prone to traffic accidents due to poor road maintenance and reckless driving on the winding, treacherous terrain of the Himalayan region. New malaria test uses laser, no blood collection needed. According to Lianhe Xiaobao, researchers from Yale School of Public Health and the University of Arkansas, in collaboration with colleagues in Cameroon, have developed a non-invasive method for detecting malaria-infected cells in the blood using a portable laser device called Cytophone. The device utilizes targeted laser and ultrasound to detect malaria without the need for blood collection. The malaria detection sensitivity of the device is 90%. The research team believes this method is reliable, safe, and sensitive, and it is particularly valuable for low- and middle-income countries affected by malaria. It is expected to significantly improve global malaria detection practices.
According to People Daily, spot gold has recently fallen by 1.5%, now trading at $2,745 per ounce. That's all for today's Qingchao Morning News. Thanks for watching. Join us at the same time tomorrow.